Hey everyone, Crow here, and we're going to take a quick look at the Postal Redux Pinball Pack that was recently released for Zaccaria Pinball on December 17th, 2021 for Steam. The table pack will normally cost $7.99 US, but for the first week of release it will be on sale for a reduced price of $5.99. As for the other platforms Zaccaria Pinball is on, I don't have any information on a release date or a price. The focus here is just going to be on the Steam release. I also want to mention that Magic Pixel did provide a code for me for this table pack, so I didn't really spend any of my own money for this. If you're unfamiliar with the game this pack is based on, Postal Redux was released in 2016 by Running with Scissors and is a high-definition remake of the original Postal game from 1997. You play as the Postal Dude as he attempts to survive in a world gone mad. I just recently played the game for the first time and I found it to be quite fun. Certainly worth a look if you're into twin-stick shooters. As for the Postal Redux Table Pack, you're going to get 4 tables and 1 ball. The ball has the Running with Scissors logo on it, and it's also debuting with the Magic Pixel ball, the latter being free for everyone. All 4 tables may be based on the same theme, but all 4 are created based on different eras of pinball. There's the Retro table, the Solid State table, the Remake table, and the Deluxe table. If you're familiar with those Zaccaria Pinball categories, then you'll know what to expect from each one. However, instead of falling into those categories on the main menu, the Postal Redux tables get their own category, and that's fine for the simple fact that all of the tables in those categories are either actual table recreations or reimaginings of those tables and themes. The Postal Redux tables would be very out of place in those categories. So I'll talk briefly about each of the 4 tables, but I will mention beforehand that the tables in this pack have received more attention to detail than previous Zaccaria tables. There's custom sidewall art, some of the table legs have extra details, the Solid State table has a custom plunger, and the Remake table has a topper, and that's a first for Zaccaria Pinball. At first glance you could tell there's something a little bit more to these tables than the ones that came before it. As for the individual tables themselves, the Postal Redux Retro table can be best described as a modern version of an older electromechanical table from the 50s or 60s. If you're familiar with the other retro tables in Zaccaria Pinball, you'll know that those tables can be unforgiving and sometimes frustrating. However, I feel Magic Pixel did a good job with this one. It can still be challenging as the slingshots will sometimes propel the ball right into an outlane if hit at just the right speed and angle, but as I played and I got used to the table, it happened less and less. But the main difference between this one and the other retro tables is that this one isn't strictly electromechanical, as there's music and more modern sound effects during gameplay. Also, the table layout isn't nearly as bizarre as some of the other retro tables, so this one is more accessible to play. If you're not a fan of the existing retro tables in Zaccaria Pinball, you might find this one different enough to be enjoyed. The Postal Redux Solid State table is a pretty good interpretation of what a real Zaccaria Pinball from the early 80s would have been like with the Postal theme, but maybe just a little bit more advanced. This table has the segmented LED displays for the scoring and a good amount of voice samples and sound effects.
Take cover! I need backup!
If you look on the apron, there's a 2-digit segmented display embedded representing a murder counter. This is the first time in Zaccaria Pinball something like this has been done before. If the murder counter breaks 100, you'll get an extra ball, and I thought that was a pretty unique way to get that sort of reward. The game here has a nice flow, even when you're hitting the row of drop-down targets in the Parade of Disasters. The ball will usually bounce right back to the left flipper, giving you another shot. And just like the other Zaccaria Solid State tables, this one implements the extra bonus time after your final ball. The better you do on your last ball, the more time you'll earn for your bonus ball. Well, you'll have until the timer runs out to score as many additional points as you can. Overall, I thought this was a pretty impressive and fun table.
Take cover! Pull back!
The Postal Redux Remake table goes for the type of table that you would find between the early 90s up until around the 2010s. This is the era that had the dot matrix displays, ramps, extended ball saves, kickbacks, multi-balls, and game modes. If you played any of the other remake tables, you'll have a sense of what to expect here. The table is a bit busy, but definitely not overwhelming or frustrating. Honestly, I think this is one of the best remake tables Magic Pixel has created. Just about every shot flows right into another shot, and starting the game modes is very easy. You just keep hitting the dude target and the modes will simply start after dude is spelled. The ball will often feed into the flipper near the back of the table for a shot at spelling clown, which will start up the pretty humorous clown multi-ball mode. I don't think there's a frustrating shot to make it all in this table. The final table is the Postal Redux Deluxe table, and just like the other Deluxe tables in Zaccaria Pinball, the playfield is cram-filled with objects, habit trails, and playfields. These are the types of modern tables that could be made in real life if price wasn't an object. I mean, how often do you see a pinball machine with 10 flippers? Deluxe tables have a video panel on the back box, very much in the style of Stern's modern machines, and also some sort of animated figure. In this case, it's the postal dude who will occasionally fire his guns. Now, the table isn't as complicated as it first appears. There's actually 5 different play areas going on here. If we were to remove the upper level playfields, it wouldn't look so complicated. The main playfield has a few ramps that will return the ball back to the flippers, an orbit that can feed the ball through either way, the typical pop bumper array, and a few other targets such as the array right under the postal dude's feet. But if you hit the hole in the center of the playfield, you'll feed the ball into the rightmost mini playfield. Complete the goals in that playfield, and the path opens up to the next, and it goes on from there. I honestly don't know what happens after the second mini playfield, but I imagine I'll keep coming back to this table just to see if I can make it all the way through to the final mini playfield just to see what happens. I feel that's the main attraction of this table, but this table has its fair share of modes and multi-balls as well. I honestly don't have any real complaints about this table. I didn't encounter any frustrating shots, and the table never seemed to drain the ball unfairly. And that's the Postal Redux Table Pack. If you wind up buying this table pack but think you won't like a table or two because you didn't like the other tables in that category, I'd say give it a shot anyway, because these 4 tables are really a step up from Zaccaria's previous efforts. These really are among the best tables in Zaccaria Pinball, and I hope that future tables are at least as good as these tables. Well, that's a basic look at the table pack, and as I've mentioned, there will be separate videos on each table individually if you're interested in that. Thanks for watching, see y'all next time.